right, what's up everybody? We're at the Simple Wine. We just started a little mini warehouse. We do tastings over here on the couch. We have like a little mini warehouse of all of our stuff. We have a much bigger warehouse away from here, but we ship and pack a lot of orders from here. And it's like a small retail store by appointment. So today I'm gonna be talking about our spring wine club case. Also excuse the little black eye. I've been training boxing recently, picked that up in sparring. So anyways, yeah, let's jump into our spring wine club. The way our wine club is structured, my father and I select 6 wines based on the season. So in the summer is gonna be more whites, in the winter is gonna be more reds. Something that I found with my friends drinking wine is that if somebody has a bad bottle or a few bad bottles of like white wine, they might think they hate white wine. The same thing with red wine. Same thing, they maybe try like a bad Chardonnay and they think Chardonnay sucks. Chardonnay doesn't suck. Some of the finest wines in the world from Burgundy. All the white wines are pretty much made from Chardonnay. But anyways, the point of the wine club is to show you that there are really good wines. There's great red wines, there's great white wines, and each grape can pretty much be made into a spectacular wine because the most important thing is the winemaker. For spring, we have a mix of reds and whites. The weather's not too cold after the winter season. It's not too hot yet for the summer, so we can really get some good full body character red wines without worrying about the summer heat. And it's warm enough now where we can enjoy some nice white wines. So without further ado, here are the 6 wines we've selected for the spring wine club. And I'm gonna show you them in the order that I would personally drink them if I was at maybe a dinner table. Quick background on my father and I, and my mother, they're from Eastern Europe. I was born in the US, but my father's from Georgia, where wine is originally from. So we drink a lot of wine at dinner, and 6 bottles for a family is no problem. The first wine I would start with is an interesting wine. It's this right here. It's actually a 0 sugar wine from one of our producers in Piedmont. I like to say Piemonte, the Italian way, but in the US we say Piedmont. It's a Chardonnay. It doesn't compete with food. You can pretty much enjoy it with just about anything at the table. You feel nice, clean, and healthy after drinking it. And I would pair it with any appetizers, or if you're with some friends, you want something light at night, you could bring it to the beach, anything plays. And the reason I'm throwing it in also is because the 0 sugar wines are new for our portfolio from the same winery, the same brand. We have also a red and the Rosé. Give it a go. It really impressed me, and that's one of the reasons we started importing it. At first I wasn't sure, 0 sugar wine, but it's quite good. And it's got a screw cap, so that's great. You can have a glass or 2, put it in the fridge. It'll be good for probably a week, maybe even more. I never take that long to drink our wines. The next wine that I have is, let's go with Sauvignon Blanc from the Tiare winery. It's from Collio. Collio is all the way in the very northeast of Italy. It's on the border with Slovenia, and they make very nice, precise white wines. Of course, it's not as famous as other northern Italian regions like Piedmont, for example, but they make exceptional wine. This Sauvignon Blanc from Tiare was actually a world-winning wine. I'm personally not crazy about awards. However, the French are very proud people, and I'm sure as you know, they make wonderful Sauvignon Blanc in France, such as like in the Loire Valley. Maybe you've had Sancerre, among others, like Polyfumé I also love a lot. And this wine in Bordeaux in 2014 and 2016 actually won Best Sauvignon Blanc. The fact for them to award an Italian wine as Best Sauvignon Blanc in the world is crazy. You could even maybe think of it as an Italian Sancerre because it has some citrus. It has very nice floral notes, aromatic, delicious wine. You could eat it with like appetizers. You could have it as an aperitif. You could have it with seafood. Pretty much anything towards the beginning of the meal or any kind of seafood or fish, I think will play wonderfully with that Sauvignon Blanc. Or because it is aromatic and fruit forward a little bit, you could also have it with something light like just some crackers, or if like you're with your girlfriends at night, open something nice, that Sauvignon Blanc is perfect. Next, we have a Chablis. This is Chablis from Domaine Mosnier. The reason I've included this Chablis is because for the wine club, I want to do a mix of wines you've heard, wines that have some prestige that you can talk amongst your friends with, and some unknown wines. This Chablis fits in as something more on the prestige category because it's from Burgundy, France, maybe about 2 hours east of Paris. And it's where some of, if not the most prestigious wines in the world are made. This Chablis is nice mineral. Domaine Mosnier is 4th generation winemaker. It's a wonderful domain I got to visit this past summer. From Domaine Mosnier, we also carry a Premier Cru and a Reserve. And the Reserve might be my favorite wine that we carry from them. That's a discussion from another time. But it's a delicious, mineral-driven Chardonnay, great with seafood. Chablis is very popular in Japan. If you order some sushi to go, Chablis will pair wonderfully with it. And now, on to the reds. First, we will start with a Langhe Nebbiolo from Ciabot. Ciabot is a winery we're very close with. We have a great relationship with them pretty much since we started importing. Langhe is a little appellation in Piedmont. Ciabot and also in Piemonte, they make, you've heard of probably Barolo, Barbaresco. Barolo and Barbaresco are also made from the Nebbiolo grape. You can think about them as almost like little villages. So you have like Italy, then in around the northwest you have Piemonte, and then within Piemonte, you'll have Barolo and you'll have Barbaresco. They're right next to each other, but Nebbiolo grape grown in Barolo and receiving that appellation is called the Barolo. In the Barbaresco village, if it's made there, it's called the Barbaresco. Barolo is usually, not always, but it's usually a little bit more like umph, a little bit more bold and a full wine. Barbaresco maybe a little bit more elegant, a little bit more delicate. Then Nebbiolo and Langhe, like the Langhe appellation, for this Nebbiolo, you can think of like an entry level. So if you just see Nebbiolo, okay, it's just the grape. It's still delicious, it's still well made, nothing crazy. And then you see Barolo or Barbaresco, now you have a different price point and a different level of wine. But a wonderful Nebbiolo is always gonna be great. In my opinion, you don't really need to pay more than 30 bucks for a Nebbiolo. The Nebbiolo wines are probably my favorite wines with a nice juicy steak. Like if I'm getting a big ribeye or something like that, a nice Barbaresco, or if you want something more full-body, Barolo is just wonderful. If you're at home making an easy steak, this Langhe Nebbiolo will absolutely crush it. And it's really because Nebbiolo has these nice tannins that just cut perfectly through a juicy steak. Next, we have Chianti Riserva from the Etrusca winery. You've probably heard of Chianti. Chianti Riserva is usually only a few bucks more, but is more quality, more aged. This one's aged at least 24 months, and you get a little bit more flavor, it's a little bit more complex. It's just like, you know, a little bit more than just like a regular table wine. The reason why Chianti is so popular is because, in my opinion, it's one of the best table wines you can have in the world, because if you put it on the table, it's wonderful with just about anything you eat. This is Sangiovese grape, or mostly Sangiovese, and it can have a blend of a little bit of some other grapes, but Chianti's at least 70% Sangiovese, and the Sangiovese grape is very versatile, so you can enjoy it with pretty much anything in the table, from steaks, pizza, pasta. You can open it with anything. It's gonna be maybe a little bit of like a cherry flavor, easy fruit. It's a wonderful wine. And for the last wine that we have is a little bit of a wild card. It's a Tintilia del Molise. Before importing wine, I had never heard about this wine. Most people probably haven't heard about this wine. Molise on its own is just a region that a lot of people in Italy probably haven't heard of. It's around central Italy, on the little bit more to the east side. Not as well known, not as, you know, known as like Tuscany, obviously like Rome or like Puglia. And then Tintilia is a very small indigenous grape that almost went extinct. And so the name Tintilia del Molise is the grape Tintilia from Molise. Very interesting wine. It almost has like a violet color to it. A very interesting flavor. I would personally eat it with like maybe some braised meats. Something like that would be wonderful. It's gonna be the most complex bottle in this case. It's nothing too crazy. It's just like interesting to try a grape from a region that you may not have had before. When you try it, I would love to know your thoughts and what you think about it. It's one of my favorite wines recently, and the age on this is wonderful too. As you can see on the back here, it's 2014. So you definitely want to let this one open up a little bit, enjoy it. You can pour a little glass when you start dinner, and then in the first course, maybe another half glass, and then when you get your main course out, have the full glass, and you can see how the wine evolves. But it's a lovely wine. Just give it a little little bit of time to air out so you get all those flavors. Because if you think about it, this wine's been like in the bottle, you know, for like 12 years, or it's been like, you know, aging. It's got all this compression of flavor. When the cork comes out, then finally, you know, these flavors, the aroma has time to expand and really grow into this delicious wine. So that's our spring wine club box. I'm George. Any questions you have, please email hello@thesimplewine.com. I read every email that comes through there. Any questions you have about the wine, something you like, something you didn't like. I love all constructive criticism too. Anything you'd like in the next wine club, whether that's a kind of wine or some different kind of tutorial, let me know. Thank you.